Imagine a person you trust with your life, a person you turn to when you are sick, vulnerable, and in pain. You expect them to help you. You expect them to heal you. But what if that person is actually a monster in disguise? This is the terrifying true story of Harold Shipman. To his patients, he was a kind, dedicated local doctor. But to history, he is known by a different name, Dr. Death, or sometimes the Angel of Death. Shipman is one of the most prolific serial killers in modern history. For decades, he hid in plain sight. He used his position of power to prey on the elderly. By the time he was caught, the numbers were staggering. Authorities estimated that he killed 250 people. Today, we will look at the life and crimes of Harold Shipman. We will see how he earned the trust of a community only to betray it in the worst way possible. And we will discover how a forged will and a determined daughter finally brought him to justice.
Harold Frederick Shipman was born on January 14, 1946. He grew up on a council estate in Nottingham, England. From a young age, Shipman was very close to his mother, Vera. However, tragedy struck. His mother was diagnosed with terminal lung cancer. This period was crucial. He watched his mother suffer. In the later stages, a doctor would come to their home. The doctor administered morphine to ease her suffering. Young Shipman watched this process closely. He saw the pain fade away. He saw the power the doctor held. He watched his mother find peace until she died. Shipman was only 17. Many experts believe this experience created his modus operandi. Shipman would later replicate his mother's death scene over and over again with his own victims. Shipman graduated medical school in 1970, but it did not take long for cracks to appear. In 1975, Shipman was caught breaking the law. He was forging prescriptions for pethidine, a strong painkiller, not for patients, but for himself. He was fined. He attended rehab. Yet, despite this serious offense, he was allowed to continue practicing medicine. He moved to Hyde, Greater Manchester. He worked hard to rebuild his reputation. To the people of Hyde, he was a pillar of society. They trusted him implicitly. But they did not know that a killer was operating among them. For years, patients in Hyde died at an alarming rate. Shipman targeted vulnerable elderly people, mostly women who lived alone. He would visit them in their homes, often in the afternoon. His method was simple and deadly. He would administer a lethal dose of diamorphine, heroin. After killing them, he signed their death certificates himself, listing old age as the cause. Because he was a doctor, no one questioned him. To cover his tracks, Shipman falsified medical records. He would add false entries to his computer, claiming the patients were in poor health before they died, making their sudden deaths seem normal. But people eventually started to notice. A local doctor raised the alarm about the high death rate. A taxi driver noticed his healthy customers were dying after visiting Shipman. But it was Shipman's greed that led to his capture. His final victim was Kathleen Grundy, 81 years old, former mayoress of Hyde. Shipman killed her and listed old age. But Kathleen had a daughter, Angela, a solicitor. Angela knew her mother was healthy. Then a will was found. The will was suspicious. It cut Angela out completely. Instead, it left £386,000 to Harold Shipman. Angela went to the police. This time, the investigation was thorough. Police exhumed the body. They found traces of heroin. It was murder. They raided Shipman's home and found the typewriter used to forge the will. They checked his computer. Shipman claimed the victim was an addict. He showed them the notes. But experts found a flaw. The entries were written after she was already dead. Shipman was arrested in September 1998. The trial began a year later. On January 31st, 2000, the jury delivered their verdict. Guilty. The judge sentenced him to life imprisonment, a whole life order. He would never be released. On January 13th, 2004, Harold Shipman was found dead in his cell. He had hanged himself. His suicide meant the families never got a confession. They never got answers. Harold Shipman remains a dark stain on medical history. An inquiry estimated he killed 250 people. His story is a reminder. Sometimes, the people we trust the most are the ones we should fear.
Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe the channel, and for anything in your mind, comment below.